nation for gangs, clubs and nations, causing grief in human relations. It's a turf war on a global scale. I'd rather hear both sides of the tale. See, it's not about races, just places, faces. Where your blood comes from is where your space is. I seen the bright get duller. I'm not gonna spend my life being a colour.
But tell me you agree with me when I saw you kicking dirt in my eye. But if you're thinking about my baby, it don't matter if you're black or white. If you're thinking about my baby, it don't matter if you're black or white.
Oh, that's lovely.
Astonishing.
Just to hear Rufus apologising to Joan there, a woman who's spent many years building up an extraordinary back catalogue of work. She's worked with the likes of Rufus Wainwright, and yet there she is singing alongside another Rufus, Mr. Rufus G.W. What, Rufus, did you make of your performance? I mean, you were very much there at the centre. You were the guy putting your neck on the line.
Yeah, that was quite a difficult listening to that was quite upsetting. Particularly at the very beginning of the song where I really wasn't hitting those notes very clearly. I'm not much of a singer, ladies and gents. Had we had time, I would have liked to transpose it down a semitone.
Sure.
It was a galling and frightening experience, but by the end I was hitting one or two of the notes pretty much correctly.
Considering that we had never performed together as a unit,
No.
we had one or two run-throughs beforehand. Harry, you have got a keen musical ear. Your thoughts?
Well, you know, I thought it was good, because like I was saying earlier, the first two run-throughs were proper appalling. I mean, they were horrible. You know, people around the stage were looking at each other with a real sense of dread. But that third take, man, we nailed it. We nailed it.
Sammy?
I enjoyed every inch of that.
Were you pleased with your own work?
I hope so. I think my dad might be critical because he is a super drummer.
I think anyone who's ever heard a record was going to be critical. But for those of us involved, and that's really what it's all
Do you know
about.
that's probably the most fun I've had in quite a while? I've played with bands, and that was much more fun than them bands.
Oh, hang on, your microphone's going all
Oh
diddly.
no.
Listen,
Broke it,
I mean, I don't know what we thought of my particular...
Oh, Steve, it was amazing. You absolutely, you nailed it. You completely.
Everyone started clapping along when you
on a
started.
global
It's
scale.
a turf war.
Yeah, right.
Hey, well, you can mock the accent,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of people will have learned a lot from what I was saying.
Yeah.
Just ignore the accent, just listen to the words.
Yeah.
Okay?
Your flow's impeccable.
Oh, hang on. You know, I mean, that's
Yeah.
a professional. He knows what he's talking about.
Your flow's impeccable.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, that's my own view on it. But anyway, we'll throw it out to the listeners, see what they made of it. But I think, considering we bashed it together, and if there's any way we could use it for charity, is there some way we could incorporate it?
Well,
for
we
charity?
did. One thing we didn't do, which I'm staggered, seeing as most people who form a band sit down and spend most of their time talking about it, is a name for a
I
band.
never think of a name. You're
Never thought of a
absolutely
name for it.
right.
That's
That's
insane.
well. Let's not rush
Yeah,
into
yeah.
anything.
My track this week is by a bunch of kind of crazy San Diegans who are called The Sesh, and they've done a really quite hyperactive cover of Don't Look Back, originally by The Remains. This is great.
The Remains. Harry's musical choice on this week's show. What was it, Harry?
That was Don't Look Back by The Sesh, spelt S-E-S-S, from their album Agendum.
Yes, we have not yet come up with a name for our band. 6 of us. I don't know how much more work we're going to be doing together. I can imagine it being an infrequent collective. But you may wish to get in touch with some thoughts on a possible name for the outfit.
Text us on 64046 or email stephen.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk.
Have we come up with any ideas so far?
Stephen the Inscrutables.
Stephen the Inscrutables.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah.
Is nice,
The
yeah.
Inscrutables is pretty good, actually. Yeah, we'll muse on that while I just finish off Sammy's Fringe. It's not often you hear a link like that on the radio.
I don't know, maybe we could take requests as well, Steve. That might be nice.
Musical requests.
Yeah, for future.
I think we should definitely
recordings.
do something for Christmas because that's
Yeah.
something to work
We
towards.
should get back in contact with Joan's management and see if she's going to be available for a short Christmas tour, maybe.
My concern is without the proper musicians, leaving aside Sammy, but without the proper musicians, Joan and also
And Tom, yeah,
on
yeah.
guitar, we might be slightly scuppered.
We might just have to turn into a hip-hop outfit, Steve, and rely on your hip-hop talents and Harry and Sammy's percussive
It has to be a song that always features a hip-hop interlude.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is, what's that one that Dizzy Rascal did? Where he pops in for a moment.
Not the Live 8 one.
I forget which one
A
it was.
little help for the homeless.
Any of those tracks featuring Ricardo de Force from the early 90s. He was on all of them.
Well, we'll see how we get on with that. I'm going to hand you the microphone, Jude, while I address the Fringe. If you've just joined us, it's been a rag bag. It's been a rag bag of stuff on today's programme. Aside from black or white covers and chatting about Rufus' Stag, we're also cutting Sammy's hair brilliantly. Adam Reed is here, and Adam, the Fringe is always a tricky manoeuvre, I imagine.
Yeah, it's quite tricky because it's sort of the bit that frames her face. So if you do it wrong, she's going to look funny. Basically. So what you're going to have to do, we are cutting dry as well, which you wouldn't normally do, but we haven't got a backwash. So you just comb it down about an inch.
Yeah.
To say, and then holding your hand with your scissors that way, just go across there.
And just trimming again as we did before.
Yeah, but mate, you're in the right fingers in the right holes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm brushing down.
Yeah.
cutting
I'll
down.
brush it and hold it
Okay,
because it's
all right.
difficult to hold the thing.
Not
So you
too
cut my
short.
fingers.
Not too short?
No, that no.
You're happy with that, Adam?
Yeah, go into where my finger is because if you cut my fingers, they're worth a fortune.
Of course they are. Is that? Am I going to
Go.
cut them there?
Yeah. No, you're not going to cut fingers.
It's that sexy hair noise again.
There.
Oh, the mic's got hairy.
So again, into this bit, do the same.
Just there?
Oh, yeah.
This is just brilliant. I'm really enjoying it. I can see what pleasure you take from hair cutting, I have to say.
You're actually very good. It's quite surprising.
You're quite surprising. You're a man of delicate touch. This is all the years of making things with crepe paper as a child.
The last acting job I had to play a 14-year-old girl with special needs, and in order to make me look a bit special, they cut my fringe really short. And it was like that for my 21st birthday party, and I just looked a bit startled because you could see my eyebrows.
Which is always pretty.
Do you like my delicate touch?
I think you're very good.
I'm a fan, I have to say.
And then we'll just even that up there. So again, just across. So from that point to that short point. I'm very trusting here.
You are.
Steve, you worried you're going to get into a position where you kind of shave a little bit off each of the chair legs to make the chair level, and then you end up with a shorter and shorter chair.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Adam's professional eye will avoid that. But
Yeah.
It will, because I think if you look at that, that looks pretty. Oh, wow. It's very even.
thank you very much indeed. Once again, this does appear to be radio for the pleasure of 5 or 6 people, but nevertheless, what a heck of an afternoon we're having.
My dad's sacked.
Are you enjoying that, Sammy? How does it look?
It's
Have a
all
look.
I can see again. It's like one of those dogs when you pull its hair back and it gets a nice surprise. I can see the world again. It feels a happy place.
I'm very, very pleased indeed with that. Some great work. Listen, we'll have to go to the news. After that, we'll be listening to 3 new releases and probably just taking care of any other outstanding business. Back after the news. From 1982, of course, Rock the Casbah from The Clash. Steve Show 6 Music with me, Steve Merchant, my gang here. It's been an eventful, emotional roller coaster for Sammy on today's show, but excellent job, I think. Very pleased for myself.
I think you can also see I've got sweat patches of fear here, which is nice on my garment.
That's very sweet of you. Thanks to Adam Reed from Percy and Reed. I
Thank
imagine he's probably out of the price range of most of our listeners. But if you want to perhaps pop along to his salon and just peering through the window at what could be yours if you worked a little bit harder, then he's very local to the BBC. So great work from him. I'm quite disappointed actually by the lack of extraordinary response to our version of Black on White.
I think people are just shocked. They're numb having heard it. They're amazed that we could create something quite so special. Because it was special.
I think it's quite heartening to know how easy it is to put together a band and how easy it is to do a great piece of work. I mean, we had a couple of run-throughs and yet we've done something quite spectacular.
Yeah.
I think the fact we've stuck it to the man has maybe kind of affected how little we've heard from the listeners about it as well, because there's probably a lot of people quivering and really thinking hard about what the song meant.
Exactly.
And addressing kind of, how do I feel about race?
Yeah.
And so on.
I think the man is on his chaise lounge reeling.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah.
Well, no,
Reeling.
what I hope we've done, we've proved that making new music is easy to do, and so hopefully the listeners have rushed outside, formed bands, and are now making new music as we speak, and maybe catching up with the last half hour of the show on the Listen Again feature.
Yeah, either that or they're all just watching the Olympics.
It's pretty good.
One of the two. So listen, talking of new music, how desperate are you to give your opinions on a couple of new releases?
Gagging.
I'm aching to give opinion.
Franz Ferdinand have an album, but it won't be released until 2009. But they've put a track up on their website to give people an idea of what is on the way. And here it is, Lucid Dreams, Franz Ferdinand. Lucid Dreams from Franz Ferdinand, a taster of what to expect from their forthcoming album, which won't be released until next year. But there we are, and it's easy, I think, possibly to overlook Franz Ferdinand, but they can write a decent tune, can't they, Rufus?
They can, Steve. I mean, I bought the first album on the strength of Take Me Out, and also obviously the constructivist artwork on the cover.
Now,
Like the album at all, really, apart from, well, Jacqueline, maybe one other song. And so I kind of went very cold on them and stopped listening to the album, got very cross with people who started talking to me about them. But that song, I like the ambition of it, and I like the swell of it, and I liked it and stopped liking it, and there were little sections. By the end, I was really tapping my foot and loved it.
So, Harry, you said to me as you were listening to it, you didn't know whether you loved it or hated it.
No, I anticipated not liking it at all, and maybe that clouded my judgment initially, because I really liked it. It was a bit rockier, it was a bit dirtier, a bit grimier than the usual Franz Ferdinand fare. Lyrically, I don't really engage with them. I can't really say they're speaking to me, but I enjoyed that.
Is that necessarily a problem, though? I'm thinking of perhaps Talking Heads, the sort of art school archness, necessarily.
Yeah, can't stand them either.
Ooh, hang on a minute, Sammy, you're up in arms.
I really love Talking Heads, you swine. It's really hard to concentrate on new music when there's hair in your bra, but that song,
So I know, I've said that many times.
I didn't want to scoop it out because I thought that'd be quite rude in front of three gentlemen, so it's still itching me.
Would certainly bring people to the webcam.
I really don't know which side of that fence I'm on. I want to hear it a few more times before I make my verdict. I don't think it had the first powerful hit of something like Take Me Out, but it could be a grower. I'm gonna withhold judgment until I've heard it a few more times.
I thought it was absolutely cracking for what it's worth, and I look forward to playing it at least once more.
Then I might like
now
it if I
and
hear it
its
again.
official release.
2009.
Yeah, who knows? We'll play a little trial from Steve Lamacq, and then after that we've got a tune from Monkey. This is the project that Damon Albarn and his Gorillaz gang have put together as an opera based on the old TV show Monkey. It sounds like it's going to be horrific. You'll be the judge after this.
BBC Six Music.
So there we are, Damon Albarn and his Gorillaz gang. And a track from this recent opera that he composed about the old monkey legend, the Chinese monkey legend that was popularised, of course, by the 60s TV show Monkey, which I never watched as a kid. A lot of my friends I know were fans of it. They would run around, Monkey Magic, blah, blah, blah. Never watched it, never understood it. Looked annoying to me. I don't mean that in a racist way, just looked tedious. I imagine it's the sort of thing that you were watching endlessly, Harry.
No, I wasn't really allowed to watch anything like that. Dukes of Hazzard I wasn't allowed to watch.
You weren't allowed to watch
The A-Team I wasn't allowed to watch.
I pity the fool.
Knight Rider I wasn't allowed to watch. Anything of that ilk, because it was just trash.
Sure.
Absolute trash. So I wasn't allowed to watch it.
Well, are you going to have a similar opinion on that track?
Well, it's taken out of context, isn't it, Steve? So is it fair to really judge it and say that I really didn't like it? I'm not sure. The thing with Albarn is he's so clever, he can't just make songs and albums and records anymore. Everything's got to have a gigantic theme to it to make him look special. Yeah, so not isolated, not in isolation, that track for me.
I imagine, Rufus, that is the sort of pretentious nonsense that a man like yourself would be flocking to see.
I saw the documentary. Alan Yentov made a documentary about Hewlett and Albarn and this project, and it was amazing. Albarn is kind of fascinated by the 5-note Chinese pentatonic scale.
Who isn't?
Exactly these days. And he kind of created this massive whiteboard with thousands of prime numbers on it, which the kind of cellists and trombonists had to kind of count to 30 and then go back to 4 and then watch the whiteboard. And Albarn was losing his temper with him for not being able to do it properly. It was very, very complicated. And it's all written in Cantonese, sung in Cantonese, you know. It's extraordinarily complex.